Keith Roth, Dictators, Sirius XM, hanging on Hooked on Sonics with your great host, Bruce and Tone.
And we're live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another fantastic episode of Hooked on Sonics. I am one of your two hosts, Bruce, and as always, everyone's brother from another mother, the Tone Capone. This week, by special request by our good friend Chuck G's from Beyond Neptune, he gave us a couple albums to review this week. We've got Avow's Portal, and then Carmen Maki and Blues Creation with their album Blues Creation. Lots of stuff to get into before we do that, including what we've been listening to. Some drinks. We got some interesting music news that came up over the past week. Um, so, yeah, a lot to get to. But before we get to it, the people want to know the tone. How the heck are you?
Good evening. I am quite okay. Had a pretty good day today. Was a snow day. We saw about 4 inches, so I went out and shoveled the neighbors' driveways and walks, and did my walk and driveway as well. Um, I could have used a snowblower, but I was feeling the exercise, so my back's feeling it now, but I'm all right. I'll live.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, just trying to be a good neighbor.
Were you State Farm?
Some days.
Some days.
Anyways, um,
Good. I'll have you
no,
go over to Mom's.
Grant,
I talked to her today, and because she's right down the road from you. Um, and old people. The only thing they talk about is the weather and who's died or who's on the verge of dying. So we went through that early stuff, and we was talking about the weather. Oh, we got about 4 inches. I'm like, okay. Well, I need someone to come over here and pull up my trash can, and I'm leaving today. I'm like, Mom, you're not going anywhere. Well, I'm gonna go see some Turner Moose Lodge, whatever, something. Mom, you have no business being out in this weather. So she was hell bent on getting out. And I'm like, okay, this is how hips get broke.
did she
So
go out?
I'm sure she did. I'm sure she's out as we speak because I'm sure the roads are crystal clear.
The main
Okay.
roads are decent. Side roads, they're a little slickery.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Doherty that comes back off of Fetter towards me.
Yeah.
That road right there is, a little
Yeah.
slick.
No.
So
Well, my friend, what have you been listening to?
this week, what has Tone been listening to? I was listening to some Al Cisneros solo stuff.
Who's
I
he
was
with again?
Sleep. He was the bass player
Okay.
for Sleep and the bass player singer for Sleep and Ohm. He also was in the big project Shrine Builder, the super
Mm.
group Shrine Builder back in the day that we talked about.
Yep.
Um, the um, the was listening to I did listen to some Castle Wrath this week.
Mm.
Speaking of them, and then what else did we listen to this week? Oh, shoot! While I was shoveling the snow today, I was listening to both Blood Incantation albums, man, and I'm telling you, dude, I dig those dudes a lot, man.
Mm.
I think a lot of people need to a lot more people who are into metal need to know about those dudes because they are really, really good. Um, their album Hidden History of the Human Race is where I found them, and their recent release, Absolute Elsewhere, I think I turned Chuck onto, or one or the other. But Chuck and I've talked about him, and we personally would like to go see him. Once again, thanks Chuck for the suggestions for the show today. Uh, they're on another leg, but I think they're going to be up in Detroit, and I kind of don't want to drive up to Detroit to see them, but especially with the weather being the way it is. But
Hmm.
I really, 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 really want to see these dudes. Um, and then that's about it, man. I've been listening to a good deal of Blood Incantation, some Obituary, obviously. Been listening to a lot of Obituary lately. Just ever since seeing them at Sonic Temple last year, they've been in constant rotation for me.
Mm.
Oh, listen to some Power Trip this week too. So,
Okay.
but other than that, yeah, man. What have you been listening to?
Well, let me just tell you, I have been listening to, let's see, been listening to a lot of the Doors stuff, live in Boston from 1970, the latest Beatles anthology set that just came out. Um, let's see, Wes turned me on to the band called the Heartbreakers that was fronted by Johnny Thunders and also had Jerry Nolan, the drummer from the Dolls. Um, and that's been on heavy play all week for me. So been digging a lot into that. Listened a little bit more of some blues creation stuff, which is pretty awesome. And then, as you may have remembered, that Black Friday we had a record store day Black Friday event.
I missed it.
And of course you did,
I
because you
no, dude. Here's the thing. I missed it. I had so much going on. I'm irritated because I think there was a couple drops and I missed them.
yep,
Is there any way to see what was dropped? Can I go to
yeah,
Record
go,
Store Day and take a look?
you can take a look at that list.
I wonder if any of it's still copyable.
It could be. You can always check with, for you, I would check with Used Kids, um, and Lost Weekend Records, to see what they got left of that stock. So not nearly a big of an event as
Did you
normal
pick up
record.
anything?
I did. I'm going to tell you. First and foremost, I picked up the reissue of David Johansen's David Johansen and the Harry Smiths album. Basically, it's an Americana album that he did. It was one of two of them that he did. Um, Beautiful. It's one of my favorite albums by him. Um, and then it came with a really, really nice booklet that his wife Maura wrote for him. Um, just kind of like a whole story of, who Harry Smith was and, this whole project. And then it's got the lyrics in it as well. Very well put together piece, and I'm glad I have it in my collection. And I hope that they uh, put out the other one that he did for normal record store day. Then I got the latest Doors release. They always do a great job during record store day. This is the Doors live in Copenhagen,
Nice.
September 17th, 1968. Check that out there. Nice little.
Oh, the very
Mhm.
best of Delight.
Heck yeah.
What, man? Are you freaking kidding me?
Groove is
Oh,
in the heart. And check out this
ugh.
vinyl here. We got a beautiful crystal clear vinyl. That is
Oh, that's
badass.
beautiful, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's gorgeous.
So then that was for all the current ones, but I also found a previous record store day release from the Doors called Paris Blues. Um, it was from 1970, I believe. And one of the things that's really cool about this is there's three
Excuse
songs.
me.
There's three songs that they did with Albert King on this. So
Nice.
really, yeah, live from 1969. So and
I'm just kind
1970.
of looking through this, man. I apologize. I
Hmm.
apologize. I'm looking to see what I missed in my life.
People may give a shit, but you mentioned
That
that
Tom Petty
Delight.
and the Heartbreakers live anthology. Nice. What about Delight?
That Delight's an underrated band.
I don't. Dude, they were to me when they had dropped Groove is in the Heart and everything else that was going on at the
Hmm.
time. They were ahead of their time, dude.
Yeah, I
In my
agree.
opinion, they were ahead of their time. They just I dug them. I still dig them.
They're fun. They're a fun band.
Rat Invasion of Your Privacy. That's not bad. What else did you pick up
That was
or been
it.
listening to?
That was it.
Warren Zevon Epilogue live at the Edmonton Folk Music Festival.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Van
Um,
Halen live at Wembley '95.
eh, it's Van Hagar.
Was it
It's for
really?
the
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that
that
was
would have
the
been that
bounce
would
tour.
that would have been the Seals and Crofts greatest hits. Rolling Stones, their Satanic Majesty's Request.
Yeah,
There was some
I've
pretty good
I've
stuff. I'll tell you this though, nothing I
hmm.
absolutely needed.
Yeah, I mean the two things that I absolutely needed, I got. So I lucked out.
Yeah, I just one thing I've noticed over the years when we talk about these record store releases, do you know who has a lot of fucking releases through record store day that
Hmm,
you see a lot of shit from? The Grateful
hmm.
Dead.
Yes,
I couldn't imagine owning everything from the Grateful Dead, dude. There's probably so much of it out there. But
there's a ton.
and I love the Dead, don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
There's some pretty good stuff out there, man. That is really freaking cool. The
Yep.
band Jericho, man, that would a nice pickup. But yeah, that was some okay stuff out there. Nothing I absolutely had to have. I put in my request for albums already. We're doing like a Secret Santa with I think have you ever gotten to meet Dave and Pickle?
Yeah,
Okay, so you've met Dave and Pickle. So
yeah.
Dave and Pickle and Sam and Amy and their old ladies and whatnot, they're going to be coming over. We're doing a Secret Santa with them. We put like a $50 limit on it.
Hold
So
on, hold on. I seem to remember somebody blowing a gasket. I'm never doing another fucking Secret Santa ever.
no. You're half right. I never want to do a white elephant again. The
Oh,
white elephant shit gets old, dude. It really
yeah.
gets fucking old. So when you do a Secret Santa, you kind of put out, we do it through a site called Elfster. Kate's got it set up for us to
Hmm.
where nobody in each other's household gets each other. And you just go on there and you put links to the shit that you want. That's within the price range. And everybody sees your wish list. And whoever your Secret Santa is knows what your wish list is. And you grab things up. I threw about 8 things on there. So you can give me one of these, any 8 things. I think there
Yeah.
was both Blood Incantation albums, a Blood Incantation flag for the garage, Power Trip album that I don't have, which would finish off 3 of the 4. And then I asked for a Jungle Rot flag for the garage.
Hmm.
And I also threw in, if you want to pick me up any of the reissues of the first 4 Danzig albums, I'll take one of those. So I threw a lot of albums on there. Um,
You're.
my big gifts I've asked for from mom was there's a company out there called Heavies that makes headphones. I don't know if
Hmm.
you've seen ads for them in your feed or anything. They look really interesting, man, and they're supposedly made for like metal music and industrial music and stuff like that. So I'm really interested in having a set of those. Whether or not mom will get them for me, I don't know. They are a little pricey, but I was also looking at I told Kate I said I wanted the battery for my amp because I have the Spark 2 and it's got a portable battery. You could take it anywhere and you could use it as an amp to go anywhere or a Bluetooth speaker to go anywhere. So
Hmm.
um Those are pretty much the only things I really want, man. I want to finish adding a few things to the record collection, and I'm not trying to break anybody's bank. I don't need anybody's bank broke over me. Fuck that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Although Kate almost fucking got me. Kate's got me in my head real bad this year. We were at Costco, or not Costco, but Sam's Club the other day, and she saw a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle digital pinball machine. They want 1,000 for it.
How big is this?
It's not life-size pinball size, but it's pretty good size. I would
Hmm.
say 1/3 size of a pinball machine,
Hmm.
maybe 1/4, but it's standing. And if Sella ever were to move out and Kate finally get that room as an office, it'd be a cool piece to have in her office to play digital Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pinball.
There you go. I'm either down here. I either want a air hockey table or a pinball machine. I don't know exactly where I'd stick it at the moment, but
So, how do you feel about foosball?
it's all right.
So, we were at Sam's Club. I saw a really nice foosball table,
Mm-hmm.
and I like all those tabletop games, air hockey, foosball. Kate and I do all that shit. Pen. I came real close. I seen a on Facebook Marketplace, somebody was giving away a free ping pong table with the whole setup and shit. And I was just like, I'm going to get this for the garage. She goes, it's not going to fit. I said, we can make it fit. It'll fold up. We can use it. So, but no, we do enjoy those tabletop games.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
man, cool. You drinking this evening?
Yes, sir.
What are we drinking?
All right. All the way from Texas, the official beer of Texas, Lone Star beer.
Hmm,
One of my favorite beers. I don't get it very often because it's not widely available. But for me, when I think of Texas, I think of three beers: Shiner,
ugh,
L- Lone Star, and Pearl. And literally, Pearl you can't get outside of Texas. So
you ever been to Texas?
I have.
I
I
have
was in.
never.
I've been to Austin and I've been to Dallas.
Did you like it?
Austin's weird, man. Austin's weird. Um, a lot of cool music, culture, history stuff down there. Downtown Austin has a statue of Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then of course the legendary Broken Spoke, um, one of the best well-known honky tonks still around. Um, Great to see that, but it's a weird place. It's like they shoved California into a little city.
Interesting.
It's weird. But
Okay.
yep.
You ever been to California?
No,
Then how would you know?
because I've seen enough people from California.
Interesting.
And a lot of people from California have been going to Texas, so
Yeah.
especially Austin. So their motto is keep Austin weird. So they know.
Okay.
Yep. But all in all, Lone Star, one of my favorite beers, and give it a 5.
Where
Easy.
where do you find it at?
Found this at a Food City in Maynardville. So
Is it a place you go through often?
I go through Maynardville every day, but I typically don't stop there too often.
Well, if that's your favorite beer, sounds like you need to be
It's
stopping
one
there.
of them. One of them.
Okay. And it's a solid 5, huh?
Solid 5.
Okay.
It's light and refreshing.
Well, you guys know sometimes I bring a bottle up, sometimes I don't. But tonight Tony's drinking a mixed drink. You can't see exactly what's in here, but we have a Diet Mountain Dew or a Mountain Dew Zero.
Hmm.
And this was mixed with a shot, well, maybe 2 shots of bourbon from Rebel. It's the Rebel Cask Strength. This comes in at about 120 proof. I like it neat. I like it mixed. I like the sister bottle, the Ezra Brooks. These fall into one of my, both of these bottles fall into my top 10 of all the bourbons I've ever tasted. And they're probably both in my top 5. I would consider kind of same in the same realm.
Hmm.
Um, so it's a 5 for me, a single shot. Um, and its sister bottle. I love both of those bottles dearly. When I'm not hunting stuff from like Buffalo Trace or some of the higher end stuff, these are good, reliable, everyday drinkers that are over 100 proof that don't hurt like 100 proof or burn like 100
Hmm.
proof or like they're over that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a larceny out there that's 126 proof. That thing is very sweet going into the face, but straight back to the throat and down the gullet, that shit burns.
Sweet burn.
Classic for me, bourbon and Mountain Dew, whiskey and Mountain Dew. Can't count how many Jack and Mountain Dews I've had over the years. So something I've done for a long, long time.
There you go.
But solid 5 for me. With that being said,
Hmm.
Telegram just in. I think it's time for the news.
That is.
So just real quick, I just want to point out that we had an update in the death metal community. One of the longtime bands that I've listened to for a very long time, Malevolent Creation, has announced that they're adding 96 Bitter Beings ex CKY Darren Miller as their new guitarist. Now, I think there was something a little while back where they said something in regards to that, and maybe he stepped out or couldn't do it at the time. I don't know what the situation was there, but it's good to
Mhm.
see they're back. Any news in regards to any new Malevolent Creation is cool with me. I'd love to see, you know, where they're at, and they they've done pretty good about putting decent albums out, man.
Yeah.
Um, I think the first couple albums were really, really, really bangers. Um, I'd love to give them to you, but I do not think you would give them a fair review. They are just brutal. If I told you to go listen to one song, I would tell you my personal favorite, and probably a lot of people's personal favorite, Homicidal Rant. The drums on this track sound like machine gun fire.
Oof.
I swear they just sound like straight machine gun fire, dude. And lyrical content's a little hard to understand, but when they sing the chorus, you know exactly what's being said.
Mm.
So Homicidal Rant is one of my all-time favorite death metal tunes. John, bass player, close buddy of mine, you know John, Rachel. Um, John is one of the only other people I know that listens to Malevolent Creation or is familiar with them like I am in any way.
Hmm.
So yeah, cool band, man. Dig those dudes. Have dug those cats for a long fucking time. Um, but yeah, that's what news that I have, sir.
All right. Well, a couple of tour announcements. B-52s are going to go on tour
Who
coming
they
up
with?
next year. I think they're just by themselves.
They got a big enough catalog to be it by
Yeah.
themselves.
Oh, yeah, they're huge. Um, and then Red Cross is going on a European tour. They're adding that to their American tour. So they're going to be out and about in spring and summer.
Okay.
And then, let's see, it's not happy birthday. Uh, American singer, um, folk singer. She was commonly known as the voice of the civil rights movement, Odetta. She passed away today in 2008. And
Mm.
then the legendary Bobby Keys, the saxophonist for the Rolling Stones, he died today in 2014. Let's see. Happy birthday to Rick Savage, the bass player from Def Leppard. How about that? and a couple of interesting albums that came out today. We are recording on December 2nd. Uh, Rolling Stones' Blue and Lonesome. It was basically a blues cover album, and Neil Young's Sugar Mountain live at Canterbury House in '68. So that's one I got in today's music news, my friend.
And that is the news. We'll get more later.
Absolutely.
I think it's time to get down to these reviews, man. What do you want to do?
Absolutely. I went first the last two times.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
All right. Well, then I'll go ahead and take this first one.
That's right,
Okay.
you are.
So, once again, coming from our good friend Chuck G's over at Beyond Neptune. Check those guys out. You can
Working
catch
on
all
new
their
music.
stuff on Bandcamp. They are working on new music. Shout out to those fellas. Love those cats. They are personally my favorite local band in Columbus. I've said that repeatedly. I'll put my stamp on that. They are one of the must-see. If you like music, if you are appreciative of music in a live show, these guys bring the heat. If you're ever in the Columbus area and you see that they're playing locally, definitely check this out. They do play outside of the state. They do play all areas of the state. I've seen these guys all as far as Cleveland up at the Grog Shop. So definitely get the chance to check them out or check them out over on their Bandcamp, pick up some of their stuff over there. But Chuck, want to thank you again for these two albums. You gave me Portal Avow. Band name is Portal. Title track is Avow. This album, my early take on this is this album feels very avant-garde. It's definitely got a death metal, black metal feel. There are aspects of it that remind me of a band that I gave Bruce a while back called Absent in Body. There is no way that Bruce could take on this album and give it a fair rating. I want to just say that now. Chuck, you know me and Bruce's music taste pretty fairly well, and you knew you were safe giving me this. You knew you were, but had you given this to Bruce, oh man, I can't promise that he would have given it the fair review that I did. Okay.
I've been honest.
I also want to say, because it's like Absent in Body, this is a band or an album that I couldn't put into my constant rotation. I would hear this maybe once or twice a year, if it was something that I was into. Um, I've turned Bruce onto that Absent in Body album, and I don't think it really got a high score from him. Um, I can tell you there are aspects I like about this album, and we're going to get into that. But there's something that really irks me through the whole album, and I'm going to get to that. So with that being said, Portal Avow, track number one, I believe it's called Catafalque. This I gave a B. It opens with a static track that just runs through this thing at least a minute and a half. At the 1 minute and a half mark, I think it's still going. The there's a drum assault, black metal vocal seems like, and then there's this beehive sounding guitar riff. The music is frantic with like a demon vocal. Taking this in, the one thing that I'm going to repeat is this guitar riff or riffs. It sounds like a swarm of bees. Bruce and I got to kind of talking about that. And sometimes that sounds okay, but there's about 45 minutes of that on here. And it's very frantic for someone who's, fairly mellow like me. I do like a little bit of the harder stuff. That riff, it's just an assault on my ears. But I can recognize the song for what it is for. I know the work that goes into it. I actually took the time after listening to the album to go catch a few live pieces of these dudes, and I see what's going on there. And for me personally, watching these guitar players play up and down the neck the way that they do, I can't understand why I can't discern the notes. It drives me nuts. I'm like, why can I not discern the notes in this track? The other thing I want to say about this album is I really don't think it sounds, the recording to me, and I went over to listen to it on Bandcamp. The recording to me seems very, it just seems, there's parts of it that seem faint. The drums seem faint. I don't think I really hear too much bass going on in here, if there's any bass. And when it comes to the drums, I hear a lot of crash and a lot of bass drum. And it's like I can't discern anything of what's going on here. It's just like an assault of, you talk about a wall of sound, but this is like a wall of swarming bee sound to me. And the guitar had a lot to do with that. So taking it for what it is, I gave it a B. Track number 2, I. Um, I gave this one a B as well. It's another frantic guitar riff with some highlights. It feels very similar to the first song, aside from some squiggle, I want to say. It's just a weird sound with the guitar where they kind of sound like they squiggle. It's really weird how it was done, but it sounded really cool. And then squiggle in the guitar, drums, sound only, crash and bass, occasional toms on this. So I gave this one a B. It's not, for what it is, it's, the song is there. There is some structure there. But once again, it's that frantic guitar, man. It just, for me, it's not for me, but I can't knock it because that's what they're doing. That's the style of the music they're doing. And I get it. Track number 3, Off You. I gave this one an A. Now this has some breakup in the drum onslaught. It's still frantic guitar sound. The drums shine on this track, and it's still the same vocal delivery, this demon vocal. So I go, I go to look up some of the vocal stuff here. This vocalist really does a lot of just saying, doing the vocal of a word, maybe 2 words. But to me, reading the lyrical content that I found, it's it didn't it didn't find me wanting more, as far as, what is this guy talking about? Or I'm really into whatever this guy's talking about. Like, it's 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 very hard to get into something when you don't understand what's going on sometime lyrically. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um,
So real quick, so this is considered, they're considered the pinnacle of horror death metal. What are some of the things that you were able to discern? What are some of the things that he's saying?
I can't even go back into it, man. Like
Yeah.
I like, for me, it was not. Um, it almost seemed like in some of the songs it was very cryptic,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Like, I can't really say exactly what the lyrical content was, like right offhand. Let me. So give me a second. We'll take a look at off-tune lyrics. See if I can find them. Uh, okay, so Portal lyrics are something along the lines of phronesic mannerfest, guild trespass, parlor in wait, motherlode plugged, vessels revile. I
It's
like
annoying.
I kind of don't understand what's going on there. Like it's I get that there's this music, but then once again I have to tell you this. You got to go look at what's going on live there. There is a show there. There's a dress that they're doing and portraying and characters that are what's created this concept. And while it looks very, very cool on stage, to me, this recording was very lacking. I think that, the drums could have been brought up a little bit forward, the bass could have been brought up a little bit forward, and the onslaught of the Swarm of Bees guitar, it could have had some variance. You know what I mean? There could have been some variance there, and and I didn't really feel like there was a lot of variance. But I
Hmm.
did really dig this track, and I think a lot of this one had to do with the atmosphere. There's a little more atmospheric stuff going on in here that I really enjoyed. Like once again, if I pointed at Absent and Body, that Absent and Body album's very atmospheric, and I dig atmospheric stuff. This had a little more atmospheric stuff in it than more of, you know, than what felt like an onslaught of Swarm B's guitar.
Hmm.
Track number 4, Manner of Speaking. I gave this one a B. It starts off really strong, but goes into what felt like rinse repeat mode. There's a breakdown about 5.5 minutes in. It slows down the pace a bit. There's a lot of noises here. It's hard to kind of discern what all is going on there. There's a lot of noises here, and that's another aspect of there. There's a lot of noise going on. There's a lot of static and stuff it's really weird, man. Um, but unless like once again, you're looking for the atmosphere, you're looking for, you know, I don't know how these dudes play guitar the way I saw them play guitar. I
Hmm.
mean, they are literally dana 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 up in all areas of the neck. Like you can go catch a video of these dudes and they're just dana 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 dana. But the problem is I just can't discern the notes. There's no
Hmm.
real discernible notes. And while I admire and respect what's going on there, what are you using on your pedal board that doesn't let me discern the notes? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
See
no,
what
for
see what
sure.
I'm getting at? So,
Hmm.
um, uh, so once again, I gave that one a B. For what this is, I can't go damning it because there's an art thing going on here. There's once again, if you if someone sat down and listened to this on its own, they'd have a really hard time. Your average listener would have a hard time with this. Okay.
Hmm.
This album is not for everybody.
No.
But because I understand the art form, I understand heavy music, I understand, I listen to a lot of stuff and not quite in the realm of this, because I don't listen to a lot of black metal. That's my brother's realm. My brother really digs black metal. Now, there's some death metal stuff going on here in the same respects. There's there's an culmination of all kinds of imagery and stuff going on as well. So I think to truly appreciate this band, you have to kind of see what's going on. But this recording really makes me feel like it doesn't do them justice from what I saw on the stage and stuff and whatnot. What I seen on the stage looks really freaking cool. These guys are really getting down. And I dig the dark atmospheric things that are going on. However, this recording is not one that's really going to make me go, I gotta get into really checking these dudes out. While I'm going to give it a fair rating because I can rate this music. I can't say that this is for every listener. If you get the chance, check it out. You're going to know within the first couple songs whether or not this is for you, or whether or not you want to check out more. Um, Track number 5. This was Bode, I believe it was. I gave this one a
Hmm.
B as well. There is some slight breakup in the pace for this song, which really kind of kept it at that B, because when I was getting into the Swarm of Bees things, just going on and on and on and on, it was starting to get heavy on the ears, really, really heavy on the ears. And it was just like, I could have dinged this to a C just because of the onslaught. Okay. But no, there was some breakup in it, did a little bit better, kept it at a B for me. Track number 6, which would be the final track, is called Drain. I gave this one an A. I like the vocal pacing and the drum pacing here. It was a solid closer for what this album is. Um, this was not a very long album, 45 minutes worth of listening to. Um, if is something you're
Yeah.
into,
Mm.
that kind of guitar riff stuff, this is right up your alley. However, for those that don't know much about that, be prepared for about 45 minutes of it. Okay. It is not an easy listen for your average listener as far as regular heavy metal listeners. Okay. And once again, I want to say this felt very avant-garde, death, black metal. Really reminded me, just if there was more atmospheric stuff going on there and a little more breakup in the pace, this could have been a banger of an album for me. However, out of 6 songs, I gave it 2 A's, and the rest were B's. Chuck, my honest opinion on this album, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Because of the recording, I wasn't really happy with the being able to not hear anything other than the Swarm of Bees guitar, mainly crash cymbal, mainly bass, drum. Tiny amount of toms that I heard in this thing. Not being able to discern any bass line in any of this, it just did not pull me in to want to, even after seeing them and what was going on, if this is what another recording of theirs would sound like, I don't know that I could listen to it. So it gets 7.5 for me, brother.
Now, that wasn't part of the assignment, but I actually listened to this album. Um, and I would agree with you on the opening track. I actually like that one. I actually gave that one a B. Um, I like the energy. I like the kind of, oh, this is interesting. It's a 10-minute journey. That song is
Off the
10
rip.
fucking minutes. Yeah.
Off the rip.
Uh, so I was like, okay, that's really interesting. And then as it kept going, I was like, fuck this. It
Dude,
was
I'm gonna
brutal.
tell you what. It's what I appreciate is that Chuck felt comfortable enough to give me this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think,
Because he
yeah.
wanted an honest rating from me.
Hmm.
No, he knows that I love metal music as much as he does. He's probably a little more versed in a lot of other stuff than I am because
Hmm.
he always turns me on to stuff. You know what I mean? Him and Greg have always turned me on to stuff over the years. Some of it's a hit, some of it's a miss, some of it's just all right. This is just all right. But it once again, it'd be like an Absent in Body album for me.
Mm.
I can't listen to it in my regular rotation,
Yeah.
and because it didn't score so high for me because of the recording and I couldn't discern a lot of what was going on there more than the guitar. Dude, I'm telling you, if I could have heard the snare or anything going on with any more of the drums, if I could have heard a prominent bass line and there was some pacing on that guitar, this thing would have cleared an 8.5 for me in order to check it out. Because honest to God, the vocals don't bother me at all. The vocals are actually pretty cool. I like the concept of what's going on there. I don't really know exactly what he's talking about. But yeah, dude, if there were just a few small things here for me, what I would be looking for with this could have been an 8.5 for me. But that onslaught of that Swarm of Bees guitar, man, was a lot.
Hmm.
It's a lot, man. But and what blows my mind is, like I said, I went and looked at him live and was like, this dude's hands are all over the fucking neck.
Yeah.
Why can I not hear any discernment in what's being played? So yeah, 7.5 for me. Chuck, thanks again for It's all right album. Not anything I'm really excited about. You've given me much better. Trust that.
Did he
Uh,
do anything worse?
he's given me stuff pretty much on par with this, man. He usually doesn't give me anything that's a fucking real turd. And that's being honest. That's
Yeah.
being honest. And that's one thing I love about Chuck. He really wanted my review of this album.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have shot this out to me and said, Tony, I want you to review this album, knowing that I can take in this listen. He didn't hand you this album.
No. I think Chuck gets us.
Yeah. Chuck does get us.
Each of us individually for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, this is definitely interesting. The stage show is definitely interesting. I really dig what's going on in the stage show. But man, if there's no real discernment on the album, man, I can't get into listening to this. You know, I would love to hear more discernment in what I'm hearing on the guitars than what sounds like a swarm of bees.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so overpowering. It's so overpowering to the rest of the album and the
Mm.
rest of the players. Like the drums are just a fair off distant memory. I don't like it, and I could not discern a bass line anywhere in there, dude. I had to check a couple pair of headphones. Go, what the hell is going on with this album? So yeah, Bruce, you're up.
All right. Well, Chuck gave me a really interesting. Chuck is the king of obscure.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think I think we've come to that determination.
I listen to
He,
some fairly obscure stuff, but
Mhm.
Chuck will pull out, have you checked out that death metal band from Nigeria? Symphonic death metal band from Nigeria. Who are they called? And he'll go, yeah, man, you got to check them out. That's
Yeah,
one thing I love about him and Greg, dude.
it's all Swahili. What the fuck? Yeah. Well, he didn't stray too far on this one. So your band was from Australia, and this band that he gave me was from Japan. Um, they were originally called Blues Creation, and they got in contact with this lovely lady, Carmen Maki, who was essentially she was like a folk singer, and her contract was up, and she decided she wanted to do rock music. And so Blues Creation was the first um, rock band in Japan. The first blues rock band in Japan. Um, they were only like 17 when they started, and when this album came out in 1971, um, they were like 19 years old. So right off the rip, I will say that this is a very psychedelic, fuzzy blues rock, um, just pure rock and roll album. Um, the the feeling of the album reminds you of like Cream, early Sabbath, um, even when Sabbath was called Earth. Um, Hints of Led Zeppelin on the blues side. Got a little Texas flavor into their music, and being that this came from Japan made this really interesting to me. Um, See, these guys came over to the States in the mid 70s, toured with Kiss, Yes, Mountain, Johnny Winter, um, and pretty pretty cool band that I've never heard of. Um, so here we go. We'll start with um, the first track, which is called Understand. It's a solid driving blues riff with big fuzzy bass. Um, Carmen Mackie's vocals are shaky in places. Um, and that's kind of a common theme with her in this on this album. I ended up giving this thing an A. Man, the musicianship on this album is just pure fire. Like if e- with or without vocals, if this was like a just a instrumental album, this thing would have just slammed. So cool. Um, uh, there's a real bite in the guitars. There's just some amazing guitars here. Great mix of blues and psychedelia. It's a solid opener. Her voice kind of reminded me of like a weird blend of Ann Wilson and Yoko Ono.
What?
Yes, and this is what I mean. The when she's just in her when she's singing in her range, she sounds very similar to Ann Wilson from Heart. But when she tries to put a little extra umph, a little screaming, she's trying to do her best Janis Joplin type stuff. It sounds awful. And it turns into Yoko Ono. It's wild. Um, but listening to Carmen's like solo stuff before she got with these guys, what beautiful voice, powerful voice for that style of music. So, um, I guess she did some punk stuff after this and, some other metal stuff. I haven't heard that yet. Um, this isn't all bad vocally, but
Sounds like she
it,
just wanted to rock, man, and maybe
yeah,
it's
yeah, I get it. I get it. But on some of these songs, it wasn't her strong suit. But we'll get to that. All in all, Understand was a solid A for me. Really cool opener. Next up, called And You. It's a very sappy ballad, very 60s vibe. This type of song really fits her natural range. Her English is kind of hard to understand, but the emotion is really there. Like there is really, there's a lot of emotion in the playing and in her vocal delivery on this. Beautiful song. I gave it an A. Um, Next up is Lord, I Can't Be Going No More. This is an A plus for me. This is the first. This is the first true blues song on the album. It has a bit of a Janis Joplin's Ball and Chain, Led Zeppelin, I Can't Quit You Babe type vibe to it. Just phenomenal, like Jimmy Page type licks on this. Um, and what's really great here, she doesn't try to oversing. Um, this is just a perfect electric blues song. A plus. I love this song. Next up was Empty Heart. It's another slow ballad tempo. Um, the melody kind of reminds me of Tuesday's Gone by Leonard Skinner. Um, Carmen's voice is a little shaky here, and it doesn't jive well with the band. Like there's just something, they're not driving great. It's not bad, but it feels limited. Her screaming at the end of the verses almost ruined the song for me. Um, and she does this weird Aaron Neville thing um, in places with her voice that's really annoying. Um, this song is like 8 minutes and it's way too long. Um, I kept skipping towards the middle of this song. It's beautiful musicianship, but that beautiful musicianship does not save this song. It's skippable. I'd say if you get about halfway through the song, you can skip the rest. So I gave it a C. Um, Mainly just because the vocals were just not good.
okay.
Uh, Next up was Motherless Child. This was a this is a cover. This is a traditional song that it goes back to at least the 1920s here in the States. Louis Armstrong made it really popular back in the day. Odetta, that's how I kind of know it. And we mentioned her earlier. But this is a very powerful song, and they absolutely butchered it.
Hmm.
Butchered it.
Hmm.
So they started with this. It literally pissed me off what they did to this. So they
Chuck,
they
you
tried
got to stop giving albums to Bruce that ticks him off.
just this song. Um, they're trying. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it their own. So they put this like great blues jam, this blues riff to it that's kind of upbeat and just fucking killer. And I'm like, okay. And then it stops and goes into the slow part where she sings, sometimes I feel like a motherless child. And it's like, it doesn't fit. Like her emotion doesn't fit this song. That jamming on the beginning and in the middle, and then it slows back down. And then at the end, it just irritated the hell out of me. Um, she sounded off key during the a cappella parts. Um, I put in here if the jam sessions, if the jam pieces were a song all on its own, if they were its own separate song, I would have loved it. But they ruined this song, so I gave it a D.
Ooh,
Yeah, unlistenable,
ooh,
unlistenable. Mm, Yeah, yeah.
it didn't
I
pass the smell test.
no. I'm just I'm shaking my head. Almost 7 minutes of irritation.
Oh, I get it. I get it. But hey, you are
But
getting some good shit on the album.
no, and
You
again,
have
the
that too.
absolutely, and the jam piece of it was great. I just wish it wasn't part of that song. Let's see. Next up, I Can't Live for Today. I gave this an A. Great blues riff, slow and plodding. She sings in the same rhythm line as the guitar, and they really play well off of each other. Um, she stays in her vocal lane. The band is on pure fire on this. It's a great song. Great song. Solid A here. Um, then we got Mean Old Boogie. I gave this thing an A plus. It's a great Texas style blues boogie. Her voice doesn't really have the grit that's needed for this type of song. She sounds too sweet. Like she sounds too innocent, too sweet to really, have that to it. There's a great breakdown at about a minute in. It's pure magic. It feels a little like Cream. Like I could totally hear Cream um, play this similar type song. I love this song on here. And then the last song on the album is St. James Infirmary. Um, this was another this is another track from the 20s. Um, it's another old standard blues song. I gave it an A minus here. Um, she's in the zone. Carmen is in the zone for most of this. Um, then she starts screaming, going into the solo break, and it's not good. Her screaming is not good. Um, but I have to hand it to them. They really did put their stamp in a good way on this song. It's a great closer for the album. It's very powerful, very emotional, um, and I really enjoyed this. Um, as a side note, what I did, I was like, okay, well, what else do these guys do? What else have they done? They simultaneously released an album called Demon and 11 Children. Um, And both this album and that Demon and 11 Children are widely considered as the foundation for Japanese rock and roll. And that Demon and 11 Children, it's not her singing, it's a completely different singer. She only sang with them for this one album. Um, Phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Great musicians, man. So, um, I encourage everybody to check out Blues Creation. They eventually shortened it to just Creation. Check those guys out, and then check out Carmen Mackie's body of work. Her solo stuff, especially um, the folk stuff, really highlights the great qualities about her voice. But having said all that, this album was kind of a man. It was uneven. That's the best way I can describe this album. It's uneven. There's so much good shit on here, but the stuff that's bad is just you bad. But the musicianship on this was so good. Like I literally searched out more stuff. I want to hear more. Um, so honestly, I got to give this thing like an 8.5. I
Not
got to give it
bad.
an 8.5.
I mean, if you went out and based on listening to this, went and checked out
Mhm,
more of the body as it works, which it
mhm,
sounds like you did, it's
mhm.
understandable why it got an 8.5.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
that interesting enough that I got to see what else is going on.
I'm telling you, man, the players are here. So much fun. So much fun to listen uh to listen to these people.
I'll
It's
have to
so
check it
much
out.
fun. Yeah,
I'll definitely have to check
definitely.
it out. Well, Chuck, Portal of Avow gets a 7.5 from me, and Carmen Maki and Blues Creation
Mhm.
get a 8.5 from Bruce. Thank you
Mhm.
for the suggestions. It has been a blast to experience a little bit of your library, shall we say, your knowledge base of music.
In his
I
brain.
oh man, I almost want to reach out to him and see if he's been on top of everything for 2025 and see if he wants to do the top five with us. I may do that. I know I'm like, look, dude, I know it's on the fly, but it's at the end of the month. Can you do your top five for 2025 with us? Did he do that with us last year?
I don't remember.
I have
That
to
was
take a
so
look into
last
it.
year.
Let me reach out to him, see if he's in,
Okay.
because I'd like to have a guest on top 2025, and he's always a great conversationalist. I love going over his top 2025 too, or his
Mhm.
top of the year too, because I go back through some of his stuff, and that's how I get turned on to some of the stuff that uh, we've done. But yeah, um, I think you have an announcement for next week.
I do. We are super stoked to have our friend. Everyone knows them. Everyone loves them. The legendary West Beach from the Plasmatics. He's going to be coming on, and we're all going to sit down and we're going to talk about the New York Dolls' second album, Too Much Too Soon. Um, it's one of my favorite Dolls albums. Tony, I don't know if you're familiar with it, super familiar with it anyway, but this is one of Wes's favorite albums, I think, and it was one of his suggestions that he wanted to bring up. So I was more than happy to have Wes back on. I mean, we could literally talk about what paints dry better with Wes, and it'd be a good time,
Oh,
you know.
dude, he's sent us over some albums, man, and one of those albums, man, I'm still kind of banging on that Die Krupp album,
Mm,
Industrial album, man. That was
mm,
pretty good. I'm gonna definitely be checking out more of that situation. I really dug that.
yeah,
My brother was familiar with him too. I got to mention it to him. He's like, "Yeah, man, you ain't." I was like, "Yeah, dude, fucking West Beach of the Plasmatics turned me onto that shit, man. Good. He's a good friend,
yeah.
and good music suggestions, man. I'm looking forward to to talking with him again. He is a wonderful, wonderful person to converse with.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love talking music with Wes. Now, as far as being a New York Dolls fan,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing as much as maybe you or Wes, I do not. But I can tell you, in all honesty, there hasn't been a New York Dolls thing that I've heard that I've not been a fan of. I am a bit of a Dolls fan, but I just don't seek them out. They're not somebody I'm seeking out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I look forward to listening to this album and getting the chance to go over with it and talk to Wes why it's so important to him.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll also, I bet we'll pick his brain on that Hulu series. I forget the name of it top of my head, but
Dude, there's one thing. I was sitting here, I was on vacation this past week, and I was like, what do I need to watch? What am I going to try out? I was like, man, I want to watch that shit. But guess what dropped? Stranger Things fucking dropped.
hmm
I was catching up on the Alien thing that was on. Have you seen that yet?
I've not. I listened to the podcast.
Alien
Uh,
Earth. Alien Earth has been great, dude. I dig it. I'm also an Alien nerd. You know that. So Alien and Predator. I was supposed to go to the theater to see Predator Badlands. I'm still struggling to get that done. Like struggle bussing to get that done, dude. Like I want to go see that so bad on the big screen.
mm.
And then because I usually don't miss an Alien or Predator movie on the big screen.
Oh, see, I was talking about real aliens.
What about Real Aliens?
Hmm?
What
There's this
about
great, yeah, there's this new documentary out, uh, talking about all the government, the government stuff. Um, More government officials coming out, uh, disclosing secret things. So really exciting.
we would be amiss to say that there's this huge galaxy and several galaxies that there isn't other life out there.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, there is life. There is alien life in the ocean that we are not seeing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there are parts of the ocean we don't even go down into because we can't get down into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Well, I guess we have to go over the New York Dolls second album there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing Wes. Just a bit of a heads up, guys. I think there's a possibility we will be taking the week of Christmas off, possibly, just so that we can focus on getting our stuff together for the end of the year episode of our top five of 2025. On another note, once again, want to say thank you all for watching and listening. Uh, Share us with your friends. Share a clip, point people in our direction because we want to hear from you. If you're someone who is in the music industry and would like to go over an album release or something that you got going on, if you want to suggest an album or anything, feel free to do so. If you like what you see here, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. We appreciate every one of you. Bruce, got anything to add to that?
Yeah, absolutely. We make great stocking stuffers.
Yeah,
Oh, also, don't forget to get your pet spayed and neutered.
I'm so done with you. We've got our own taglines, folks.
That's
And
right.
mine is, and we're live, and his is get your pet spayed. Over here ripping off
R.I.P.
Bob.
Bob.
R.I.P. Bob.
One for my homie.
Bruce, been a great time this evening, man. I
Absolutely.
appreciate everything. Once again, we appreciate all of you. I'm Tone.
I'm Bruce.
We're hooked on Sonics, and we'll see you guys next week.
See y'all.